What's going on, my fellow operatives? This is Hunter X, and today, guys, this is my first ever basically me discussing about GW news about Kill Team 3.0 Hivestorm. There's been a lot of buzz about it, people feeling hyped. I mean, the energy is really electrifying because the simple fact is we're going to see a lot of updates go into this. But the biggest problem also being is that some people aren't too happy with these updates. So for right now, let's just jump right into it. Now, with Hivestorm, we definitely see that the city of Volcus has become a new terrain and aerial land map that they promised us, promising that we would actually have more to add to it than just barricades, from landmines, heavy barricades, barbed wire, ladders, making it a unique, customizable thing every time. And to be honest, that's really cool to me, because that was one of the things I always felt with Killzone that always lacked, was that the terrain itself, you always kind of had to have like your own to kind of add to it, because the barriers and the ones they provided were always shifting with different rules, having different things, and making it more difficult. The fact that they simplified it, brought it down, and made it easier for people, and being also be able to use different types of terrain with it and still keeping the game the way it is, I think that's a great promise so far, and I think that's a good initiative for them overlay. I mean, like, I think a lot of people don't appreciate that much of like terrain like I do, because I really like putting the time and work into it. But I also think when you're playing the game, having a really cool terrain set and being able to use whatever you have instead of have to finally buy one type or buy that set or get, you know, I think it opens it up more to the market of people who want to play, and making it easier and accessible like they promised to. Making the game accessible has been like the biggest thing for them, even for the fact of saying that the rules will immediately with an app be online. Like, dude, we've had to use constant resources, you know, KT, Kit Dash, and so forth, and a lot more to actually get the resources we need for teams when we're actually playing them. So now being able to have this system right there and ready for you, I think it's awesome. We're also promised with a lot more of like the tokens, new, you know, TAC op cards. You know, as they were discussing in the video, they actually also went over the fact that they will have, what is it, the TAC ops being part of your special op, and kill ops facing into those special ops along with your regular primary ops. Again, that I think is interesting too, because it actually opens up the field to how your team can play and not put them into a niche of how we've usually seen them with TAC ops, or at least I felt generally. Again, give me your feedback. What are your general thoughts on those ideas with the TAC ops and the way that they're doing it? I mean, we do see a lot of new wording, which is actually interesting too, but we'll get more into that a little bit later. So with that also said, we're also seeing on top of that, the biggest part coming to, oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, on top of that, allowing these tokens and the new TAC ops, I want to know your guys' opinion and feedback. Like, seriously, let me know. And then afterwards, we're also getting down to a new core rule book. These will be all the new rules that they were discussing and announcing to us. They haven't told us the generalized idea of them so far, but they've given us certain ones like, no more, we're never going to be using shapes anymore. We're now using measurements again, which is, I will just say, I love. I'm sorry, the shapes for a while were a bit confusing, because you like three circles equal this to two, you know, squares to what, it becomes more convoluted, almost like it's its own code. And that's the one thing I think is a great deal for them, is dealing away with little languages that tend to actually confuse people more than help them, or making a system that just makes no, you know, like your own measurement system with, when you already have measurements, almost seems ridiculous, you know. But the core is promising us new updates, allowing us to see new rules. And I'm again, this is something where I'm excited, because Kill Team was already at a pretty good spot where it was at right now. Some people may disagree. Let me know. I mean, but I think that it definitely could use a little bit more refinement, and I feel these are the refines that we're looking forward to. I mean, the biggest points actually being that even some of the verbiage is changing. Like, some people were speculating that penetrating will not be the same as what before, that it may have different results. Some people have also gone with the idea of that possibly, you know, auxiliary teams, you know, for like the Inquisitor agents will actually be used with the Scions. So I injected that last one. That was my own hope. Please, please, please give me the Scions. I just want them. I'll be good. But in reality, the main thing is that these core updates are actually going to be making the game a lot easier and accessible to everybody, with them being via online and through the app. And again, these are great initiatives, making it a lot easier for people to see their kill teams and not always have to carry cards. And remember all the small things. Like, as me as an Inquisitor Agent player, you have to remember a lot. I mean, a lot of the times, each agent carries its own type of, ability, unique trait. And if you're not aware of that, it makes it difficult. So having that accessible to you is really the biggest part. Also, we'll probably see a lot more with Hivestorm's update for new scenarios, new ways, and even the discussion of the new co-op in single mode. That is actually kind of interesting because, I mean, I'm hyped. If you can play games, which technically were already there because you had narrative in some instances, but I mean, ultimately being able to have a fully fleshed idea and that for it to go all together, I think that's cool. And co-op, that just makes, playing duos together even better, or even just, fun games all around for tournament play. So I'm excited to these new innovations that they're bringing, but in reality, let's bring the main thing that's been scaring everybody. The main thing, the terrifying Death Vespids.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
And yes, those Death Vespids. No, to be honest, they weren't really that horrible, but due to all the rumors, leaks, and everybody talking, everybody got really hyped, especially with the data cards that were shown for them, kind of sparking a little bit of craziness to people and their reactions to it, prompting, stuff like this, which, I mean, I understand shown and revealed in those data cards you could get this, or my favorite of what I kind of feel like it really reflects, what like we see right now would be this one. Is like, because if you look at the data cards, they do look good on paper, especially with their neutron guns or neutron weapons themselves being a big key point to it. I mean, their ability to move while flying gives them a great range, while also allowing them to have P1 when they touch down to shoot whatever agent's in their way. Now, the downside to what some people are saying could be the thing that holds them in place is their communion points. These are points that are distributed at the beginning of every turning point, and you roll a D3 and get +1 of those points back. Now, to how much they hinder them, we have not seen that yet, because again, these are only been previews that we've been shown. A lot of people have led to the speculation of believing it to be like, these are just going to be overpowered and destructive. With Wounds of 9, I don't know. I mean, and if you look at their saves overall, it's a 5-up. But again, this could also be changed again with the re-edition when they actually release to what we see now. But these are where the speculations have been coming from. And again, I'm excited to see them play. They actually look like an interesting team. Am I preferably going to be one that actually buys them? We'll see. I may buy the box and split it with somebody. But again, they do get me kind of hyped for the new kind of flying scenarios that we will be seeing in the terrain that will be out there. Now, a bigger point too that we haven't seen yet from the other side is we haven't seen the Scions. I mean, we've seen them, but we haven't seen the full complete stats, the data. All we've gotten is trickle down from all this. And again, this is kind of exciting because we get to see new forms of the Scions. I, being an Inquisitor Agent player, I actually was excited to see them themselves come into play because I want them as auxiliary. Yeah, I just said it again. I'm selfish, okay? If I plug anything while I do this and you guys watch this video, I'm going to keep plugging that. Yeah, for all Inquisitor Agents in the back, raise your hand. You say you want this. I'm looking at you. But nonetheless, it's still kind of cool because I've also myself, and this is my speculation, is that with Scions, I think that they may get a keyword finally that actually gives them abilities, which may actually make the additional ones that you get with your Inquisitor Agents to actually help them or be a little bit better. I mean, we saw them kind of being meh along with some of the sisters that you get with them, and you're kind of like, they're not one of the better auxiliaries when you can take Vet Guard or you can take Kasserkin. You have the Exaction Squad for certain scenarios too. Like, you got better options in that part for it. But again, it's still the fact that these guys themselves have fly abilities, and we haven't even seen the data cards on them. I mean, what do you guys think this may be? I'd like to hear your feedback on it generally, and the rest of the teams, like the Vespids themselves. What do you guys think we're going to see out of these teams, and what do you expect from them? But nonetheless, guys, we're going to head back on over. Now, the big thing, guys, that I did not bring up while we were discussing just the teams is the small problem. Here we go. Small. I think it is, hopefully. A lot of people have seen a little bit of upset the fact that the compendium teams have been removed, which for some, that is really kind of crappy because a lot of people based a lot of the times that they play kill teams based off of those compendium teams without purchasing the current kill teams or kill teams that had previously been launched, which is understandable. I get that, because the fact is that if you spend all your time and your hard-earned money onto a team that you liked and you built it from the compendium and they just said, no, we are not dealing with it anymore,
Oh, crap. Well, one of us is going to have to change.
It would chip me too. It actually put me in a position to where my own partner, who was actually going to play Kill Team, considered not even playing it because her Harley Quinns were removed from it. Now, granted, there's a lot of healthier options, but do you feel this is warranted? Do you feel the people being upset or mad, or do you just feel it's just kind of a little silly and just it's the progressions of the game itself? Because I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on it. And now winding up the video, guys, what do you think of all the new updates here with Kill Team 3.0? We see with Hivestorm so many cool things coming in, discussions, but there's really no clear shape just yet. But luckily, we have more to come, and I'm excited. So, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like, subscribe button, and thank you guys. And I usually like to say, Hunter X out. Have a good one, guys.